Hey y'all, it's Christy with Christy's Custom Creations, and I am back with this super quick tutorial, and it is so easy. I want to show everyone how to do a full foil wrap on a tumbler. So the tumbler I've got here is a 20-ounce tumbler that I got from Makerflow. I have spray painted it matte black. It looks a little crazy because it was like super matte, but a black or a dark gray will work just fine. I've got some foil adhesive here from the Artistic Painting Studio, and then I've got a big, like one of the jumbo popsicle sticks, and I'm just scooping some out onto my plate and then putting a little bit of water in it. I actually put a little bit too much water in it because I didn't need it quite as thin as it was, and so I added a little bit more of the foil adhesive to it, and I just mixed it up really good. So we don't want a super thin consistency, but we want it thin enough to where it's going to spread nicely onto the tumbler. So I'm mixing it up, making sure that I've got it mixed really well, and I'm going to put the cap back on my foil adhesive and put it away. As I mentioned before, I got it from the Artistic Painting Studio. They've got the foil adhesive, they've got lots of different foils, and so now I've got a makeup brush, and this is just a makeup brush I got on a pack out of Amazon. You can get really nice makeup brushes from the Dollar Tree for pretty cheap, or the dollar store, but I'm just getting really good coverage on this entire tumbler with the foil adhesive that we watered down slightly and the makeup brush. Now you want it to all kind of flow the same way. You don't want it looking crazy or having any big streaks in it when it dries. So once I get it on the cup, I start at the bottom and I just work my way back to my hand, smoothing it out really well, and then I make sure I've got good coverage on the bottom, and then I just kind of try to brush all in the same direction because we don't want big globs or anything looking, spread different directions because it may show underneath the underneath the foil. So I'm going to let this dry for a complete hour. Once it's dry, it will be completely clear, very similar to tack it, but the foil adhesive works better than tack it does. So I've got my foil laid out here, and I'm just gonna lay my tumbler onto it and just kind of start wrapping my foil around it. I'm gonna roll my tumbler on it, and the very edge, I actually found that it makes it to where you can't hardly see a seam. If you just lift the edge up, as I did here, I lifted the edge up where it meets the other side, and it just makes it almost seamless. In this tumbler here with this design, I really couldn't even find the seam once I was done with it. So I'm gonna go ahead, cut off any excess from the side and then the bottom here. And we are going to use that later on to do the bottom because the bottom has the foil adhesive on it as well. So I've got my little squeegee vinyl tool, and I'm sorry I'm slightly off camera. I didn't even realize at the time I was off camera, but my squeegee tool that I use for vinyl, it's got felt on the tip of it, and I love it. I use it for all my vinyl. I use it for everything, but I find that it is absolutely perfect for smoothing this foil down. So we are just going to spread it down, make sure it's got really good contact everywhere, and then we're going to pull it off. So the transfer on this, it's like a cellophane material. And once it's on there and it's got good adhesion everywhere, it just pulls right off. And there you go. Look how good it looks. And if you have any little spots that it didn't pick up, you can just take the rest of your foil and just tap it on it. So now we're going to do the bottom. I'm going to take one of these little spare pieces and just stick it on the bottom. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take my vinyl applicator tool with the felt on the bottom, and I'm just going to smooth it down so that I've got good contact. And it is literally as simple as that. So once I've got good contact and I'm sure that it is stuck down everywhere really good, I'm going to pull it off, and it's going to be ready for epoxy. Super easy, and it's really cute. They've got so many different vinyls on the website, so check them out. I will have them linked down in the description box below. So now I've got 20 milliliters of ALE epoxy mixed up here. And I'm going to put it on the tumbler and let it spin for the next 6 hours or so. You don't need to seal the foil in or anything like that. You can just go straight in with the epoxy immediately after applying the foil. When I apply my epoxy, I make sure that I get really good coverage all over the tumbler, And then once I'm certain that I've got epoxy everywhere, I start at the bottom of the cup with one finger and I push up the cup as it spins, smoothing it out all the way around the tumbler. And then once that is done, I will take one finger and I'll swipe across the bottom. Just make sure that I don't have any epoxy globbing up on the bottom, but also that I have really good coverage down there. So then I'm going to go in with my heat torch here and just make some really quick passes and pop any micro bubbles that may be trying to hang out. Like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, this is just a super simple tutorial about how to quickly wrap a tumbler with foil. There's so many cool things that you can do with foil on these tumblers, and I have some other videos that I'll be coming out with that show putting foil on tumblers and some different methods, but this is just a full wrap. It's super easy, and like I said, the website has some really cute foils, and I mean, like leopard print and kind of like holographic leopard print, and you can literally wrap a cup, epoxy it, and be done with it in like no time. It's so easy, and they make such cute tumblers. But I've got a second coat of epoxy going on here. I would definitely recommend putting 2 or even 3 coats of epoxy over it, just because I feel like the more coats you have, the thicker you're going to build your epoxy layer up over your tumbler. Being a non-glitter cup, I definitely like to use at least 2, but usually 3 coats of epoxy over the tumbler, because it's just, if you only use 1 layer, it's not very thick and you're probably going to crack it pretty easy if you drop it. So I definitely recommend putting 2 to 3 coats of epoxy over a non-glittered tumbler. So I've got it smoothed out. I'm going to hit it with the blowtorch, and that is the end of this tutorial. Like I said, it's super quick and super easy. I just wanted to show it to everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Even hit the little bell to be notified whenever I post new videos. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all for always watching my videos. Y'all are amazing. And I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and y'all take care. Bye.